Básico, mês 31 de agosto, aula número 21. Vamos começar com o módulo 5, revisão, ou vamos ver o Past Perfect e o Past Perfect Continuous. Hello everyone, welcome back.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm very well. How about you?
Fine, thanks.
That's good to know. Tainá, is everything all right?
Hi, teacher. Yes.
Good, good. Dirty, how is it going?
I'm all right, thanks. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Okay. Almost everyone is here. Marcia, are you all right?
Yes.
Regina, is everything okay?
Hi, teacher. I'm okay. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Ghislaine, welcome to our class. Oh,
Hello.
my pleasure. Nice to meet you. I've been waiting for you for like a month. Welcome to the class, okay? I hope you're fine.
Oh, sorry, interrupt internet.
Okay, yeah, internet is always a problem. Okay, welcome anyway.
Thank you.
All right, everyone is here. We can start our class. Have you all got the material for today's class? If you have not got, okay, if you have not got the material, I can send you by email, okay? Just in case you can't access at Telegram, all right?
Yes.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We are going to start this first part of the basic program discussing the use of what I consider to be a very simple verb. It's the past perfect. Why is it simple? Well, it's almost impossible to confuse it with other tenses. It's not like the present perfect that quite often you guys confuse with the simple past. This one, no, it's very easy. I would say this is a walk in the park, okay? So let's start reading it. Let's understand it, okay? So Erika, as usual, can you start reading it for us, please? The formation and when to use.
Past perfect simple formation. Subject plus head plus main verb in the past participle. When to use. The past perfect is used to describe an action that was completed in the past before another action in the simple past, which is usually introduced by when. It is usually referred to as the past of the past.
Okay, so let's put this in other words. If you look at the graph, you will see that you have the present, the past, and the future, right? We are going to talk in this case about two actions. Both of them took place in the past. Both of them were completed in the past, but the one that's gonna use the past perfect happened before the one in the simple past. So, for instance, there is an example here. Yesterday, I went to bed at 10. You called me at 11:30. You see, I went to bed at 10, you called me at 11:30. Which action happened first? I went to bed or you called me?
Went to bed.
I went to bed.
To bed.
Okay, excellent. So the action that happened first in the past is the one that's going to use the past perfect. So usually it's common to say, I had already gone to bed, Gone is the past participle of the verb to go. And then we have the main clause. When you called me. Understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So you see why I said that this is easier than the present perfect. Because the present perfect is always used alone. I've seen these, I've done that, I've tried this food before, haven't seen her lately. There is no connection with a time expression. Here, you will always have a connection with another action in the simple past. That's what makes it easy to understand, okay? And what you need to put in your mind is that the action in the past participle happened before the other. There was no interruption, there was no connection. One action was completed when the other action happened. Understand these or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if anybody's asking me a question or just talking around. Okay? So, do you remember when we talked about the use of the past continuous last month? I gave you this example. I was kissing the girl. This is my classical example. When her husband arrived. In this case, you see, the second part is also in the simple past. But the first part is in the past continuous, which means that this action here was completely interrupted, and in this case, maybe violently, because of the second action. Understand? So, in this first case here, I was kissing the girl when her husband arrived. Right now, I am either in the hospital or in the cemetery, depending on how big the
Is
husband.
your
No, the husband.
Yes.
How big the husband
the
is
husband?
or was. Exactly. Understand? So imagine if the girl was married to Mike Tyson or Magilla, for example. I am either in the hospital or in the cemetery because he arrived at the moment. Remember that other important expression that we studied? He caught me red-handed. Remember this or no?
No.
Remember?
Not
No,
exactly.
not exactly. Who said not exactly? Ghislaine?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, you don't remember this, my dear?
I remember you told us this, but I don't remember the meaning.
You know, when you are caught at the moment you are doing something, you know, like at the exact moment with your hands in the wrong place, you know?
Yes. Yes.
That's the idea. We say in English that he caught me red-handed. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, what problem did I have in this case? If I had. Was there any problem?
No.
And that's what you need to remember. There was no connection between the two sentences. I had already kissed the girl when her husband arrived. It means when the husband entered, I was just having a cigarette, talking to her, understand? Everything was normal. And she was like, oh, oops, honey, this is my teacher, Roberto, this is my husband, Magil, or Mike Tyson, or whatever. And I was, oh, very nice to meet you, sir. I'm sorry, but I gotta go now. You know, I have another class to give. I'll see you later. Nice meeting you. Y'all got out of there. No problem at all. Understand? Because he didn't see anything. If we wanna, let's say, time these actions just for you to understand it perfectly. For example, I was kissing the girl when her husband arrived. Let's suppose this was at 7 p.m. and the husband arrived exactly at 7 p.m. You see, that's why the problem, that's why the violence, unnecessary. Okay, it was just a kiss. A kiss is just a kiss, okay? But here was like at 6:30 and the husband arrived at 7 p.m. Okay, so it was a fast kiss, but no problem. He didn't see anything, okay?
Okay.
Understand this, everyone? Is it clear or no?
Yes.
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 Exactly. Very good then. So in this case, what is the auxiliary verb that we have?
Had.
Had. So if we want to ask a question, we simply need to place had in front of the subject, okay? Like, had you already finished putting on your makeup when the class started, Miss Erika?
Yes, I had.
I just wonder why you never show yourself. You put on the makeup, okay? Just like I take a shower, I splash my perfume just to give online class, but at least I show myself, okay?
Okay.
You put on the makeup, but you don't show yourself, so understand this?
Yes.
And if I
Yes.
want to make a negative sentence, what do? I simply have to add not to had. So I can use the contraction. I hadn't kissed the girl when her husband arrived. I was just talking, okay? And if I want to emphasize the negativeness, I simply don't use the contraction. Like, no, I'm serious. I had not kissed her when her husband arrived. But you always need the connection with the simple past. Is it clear or not clear?
Clear.
Good. You see, in this case, in the present perfect, we say I have, you have, he, she has, we, you, and they have. In the past perfect, there is no difference. We use had for all the persons. I had, you had, he had, she had, he had, we had, you had, they had, plus the verb in the past person. Okay? So, if you remember well, we also had problems between present perfect and present perfect continuous, because sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's a little different, and that can create a certain confusion. But in this case, it also exists the past perfect continuous, but it's impossible to confuse, because the past perfect simple is only used to talk about two actions that were completed in the past and one of them happened before the other. The past perfect continuous, okay? You see, what is the difference? Regina, can you read this formation and the use for us, please?
The past perfect
First.
continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense, also known as the past perfect progressive tense, shows that an action that started in the past continued up until another time in the past. It is only used if you want to say for how long that action had been going or before another one happened.
Okay, stop there, please.
Okay.
This is the most important thing. it is only used if you think it's important to say for how long the first action had been going on before the second one happened. But many times, there is no necessity of saying for how long. Understand? Okay? Tainá, can you read the second paragraph, please?
Yes. Unlike the present perfect continuous, which indicates an action that began in the past and continued up to the present. The past perfect continuous is a verb tense that indicates something that began in the past, continued in the past, and also ended at a defined point in the past.
Okay. I can even add here before the other action happened, right? Also, there was no connection, no interruption. Understand? So, as an example, we have here the graph first, the past, the present, and the future. You see, you have an ongoing activity in the past perfect continuous, like for 1 hour, for 2 hours, for 3 hours, finished, and then another activity also ended. Okay, both are in the past. Both indicate past. That's why some people call the past perfect the past of the past. Okay, Ghislaine, can you read this example, please?
Okay. Last night, Paul invited Mary to go out and told her he was going to pick her up at 7 p.m. At 5, she was already getting ready for her date. She showered, chose some nice clothes to wear. Put on some makeup, and by 6:45, she was ready to go. Paul only arrived to pick up her up at 8:45, and she was very angry at him.
Okay, observe that it's not pick up her, it's pick her up.
Pick her, sorry, pick her.
No, it's not a problem. But every time, okay, you can memorize this. You can say, for example, Paul picked up Mary. If after the phrasal verb you have a name, you use like this, Paul picked up Mary. But if I replace Mary by her, it is not possible to say picked up her. In this case, you need to introduce the pronoun between the verb and the preposition, always, understand?
Okay.
Like he picked her up, okay? Like, I'm hot here. Oh, take off your jacket. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll take it off. Or the opposite, I'm cold here. Put on your jacket. Oh, okay, I will put it on. Put it on, or I'll put on my jacket, okay?
Okay.
Now, do you guys understand the situation?
Yes.
I tried to be very clear. How would you be feeling? Would you also be angry or not angry?
Angry.
Angry.
Okay, Tainá, Ghislaine, Vanessa, Antonio, if it were you, would you be angry? If you were Mary, of course, okay?
Yes.
Regina, Antonio,
Very angry.
Very angry.
very angry too, okay? How about you, Eric? If you were Mary, would you be angry too or no?
Angry too.
Yes, because the guy said 7 o'clock. She was ready, okay? The correct pronunciation is ready, okay, Ghislaine? Ready for her date, okay? At 6:45, which means that she waited from 6:45 to 7:45, from 7:45 to 8:45. Paul was 2 hours late. Of course he has some excuse. I'm sorry, baby. I had some problems at work. But anyway, you see, she had been waiting for over 2 hours when he arrived. You see, in this case, I really wanted to emphasize that this action happened for a long time before the other one happened. Understand? But we only use it if we think it's important to say for how long. If it's not important, we don't use. Understand? A few years ago, I had a car accident, a very serious car accident. My car was completely destroyed. Total loss, okay? Completely destroyed. And I remember that I only got a cut in my arm because of the airbags that popped out. Then I called the police, the emergency, and they asked me, "Are you hurt?" I said, "Well, I don't know how bad, but I'm bleeding." You know, when you're bleeding, understand the verb to bleed? Or no?
Yes.
No.
You know when you cut yourself,
Yes.
blood comes out like okay?
Okay.
And I had cut myself here near the artery, okay? So I was bleeding a lot. And they told me, well, try to tie something to your cut and the paramedics will be there as soon as possible. I said, okay. So I had another shirt in the car. I tied the shirt here just to control the bleeding, okay? And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. I called the paramedics. At about 5:45 p.m. Do you have any idea what time they arrived at the accident site?
2 hours, 3 hours before.
Before or after?
After.
Yeah. They arrived a little after 9.
Wow.
Why?
My God.
Whoa.
4 hours.
They forgot you.
No, they said they were very busy. But imagine if the accident had been a little more serious or my car had been a little, let's say, inferior and I would have been hurt more seriously, I would have died. Yes, I would have died, of course.
Because the president is Brazil?
Yes. Of course.
Of course.
Yes, that was in Brazil. You see, why? I had been waiting for the paramedics for about 4 hours when they arrived. And then they said, oh, you have to go to the hospital. You have to do this. You have to do that. I said, oh, after 4 hours, you are worried about me? You should have a word about me 4 hours before. Oh, we're sorry. We had some other problem. I say, I see. Okay? Understand the situation. So in this case, I really want to tell you for how long I waited for the paramedics to come. And then it's important. But most of the times, no. We just want to talk about two actions that happened in the past and to show the connection between them. Understand this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is it clear or not clear?
It's clear.
Oh,
Clear.
again, the auxiliary verb is had. So if I want to ask a question, I say had you. If I want to make a negative, I just say I hadn't. Okay? And in this case, we have to say had been for all the persons plus another verb plus ing. Okay? Now, what is important to remember when it comes to ing? Very important to remember.
Exceptions.
Yes. Remember that verbs of opinion, feeling, okay? Stative verbs are never used in the continuous tenses. So, example, we can say understand, love, like, hate, believe, and all that list of verbs that are not possible to be used. Understand? So you can't use them in the present continuous, you can't use them in the past continuous, in the present perfect continuous, future continuous, and you can also not use them in the past perfect continuous. All right?
All right.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Oh, there are some more examples here. Okay, Marcia, can you read for me?
Yes.
These two more examples, please.
More examples. He had been drinking milk out the carton when Mom walked into the kitchen. I had been working at the company for 5 years when I got the promotion.
Okay, you see, both of them, he had been drinking milk out of the carton when Mom walked into the kitchen. Did the mother see him drinking milk straight from the carton or no?
I think so, yes.
No. That's what you need to remember. If the mother had seen him, the mother would have gotten very angry at him. Okay, like this is like a 2-liter bottle of water. Usually, I put the water. Well, I don't have a glass. So, you see, I'm going to drink it straight from the bottle. But milk doesn't come in a bottle. Milk comes in a little box. That's not called box. It's called carton, right? The name of that milk box is carton. Do you think it's nice to drink milk straight from the carton?
No.
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 Do you think the mother would have liked that?
No.
No, but thank God he finished before the mother walked into the kitchen. That's what you need to understand. That's why the mother didn't get angry at him, okay? In the second case, you see, I had been working in the company for 5 years. That means first I worked for 5 years. And only then I got a promotion. After 5 years, I got a promotion. But first I worked for 5 years. Okay? So you could ask me, teacher, is it always when? No. Oh, when, for, since, and before are words that you may use, you may see used alongside the past perfect continuous tense. So, Eric, can you read these two examples for me, please?
Yes. John had been jogging 3 miles a day before he broke his leg. The radio program that was terminated had been working well since 1960.
Okay. You see, in this case, I don't have when. I have he had been jogging 3 miles a day before he broke his leg. After that, not possible. The radio program was going on very well for a long time, but it was terminated. Okay? Understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Dirce, can you read the other two examples, please?
When, for, since, and before are words that you may see used alongside the past perfect continuous tense. John had been jogging 3 miles a day. Jogging 3 miles a day before he broke his leg. The radio program that was terminated had been working well since 1960. Mary had been playing the piano for 25 years when her family needed to sell the piano. He had been throwing rocks at her window for 5 minutes before she finally come out on the balcony and said, "Hey, Romeo."
Okay. That was Juliet.
Yeah.
Any question about this part? Understand?
Yes.
Any question or no?
No.
Okay, so what would you say? Is it easier or as difficult as the present perfect?
At the moment, it's easy.
But
the problem is tomorrow.
Yes.
Start yet homework.
And homework.
And use during the day when you talk.
Oh, let me simulate something. Let me see if I can. Oh, imagine this case. What I'm going to talk about happened last night, okay? So Mary was all dressed up, waiting for Paul, and Paul was late. He was late. He was very late. Her makeup was already melting, okay? Her clothes were already getting wrinkled, okay? The hair that she had made some curls was already getting straight. And she was getting angry and he would not come. So when he ding dong, okay, what happened? She opened the door and she was furious. Probably at that moment she said, where the heck, let's say heck, where the heck have you been? I have been waiting for you for over 2 hours. You son of a gun. Okay? because she was very angry, right? And he was, oh, I'm sorry, baby. Traffic was bad. I had brought a lot of excuses, okay? Pre-prepared excuses, all right? But she was angry anyway. At the end of the story, they broke up. They didn't go out. She decided she didn't want to go out anymore. She told him to go away and blah, 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 blah. This was last night. At the moment he arrived, you see, she used the present perfect continuous because it was at that moment, right?
Right.
The next day, she calls her mom. And then she says, hi, Mom. Wanna tell you something. The mother says, what happened, baby? I broke up with Paul last night. But why, darling? He's such a nice boy. Yes, Mom, but he told me he was going to pick me up for a date at 7, and he only showed up at almost 9. Oh, maybe he had some problems. Mom, stop defending him. I know you like him. Why don't you marry him? Understand? I don't want him anymore. Okay, because I had been waiting for him for more than 2 hours when he arrived. You see, the next day, she can't use the present perfect anymore because she's talking about something that happened the night before. Understand? And then, instead of using the present perfect, we use the past perfect continuous. You see, at the moment, she's going to say, what the heck have you been? I've been waiting for you for over 2 hours, you son of a gun. But the next day, telling somebody else, she's gonna say, oh, I was very angry at him because he stood me up, okay? I had been waiting for him for more than 2 hours and blah, 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 blah. Understand?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for confirming. Okay, so let's see if you really understand. Oh, we are going to do just a few here, and the others you can finish at home. But Peter was, you see, was Sally's husband. They been married for 25 years when he had the accident and passed away. How can I complete this? I use the past perfect or the past perfect continuous?
Past continuous.
Perfect.
Continuous.
Continuous.
Look at the verb, be. So, am I going
Oh,
to
no,
write?
no. They had been married.
No, it had been married.
No,
Like this?
no, 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 no.
Yes, 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 Regina, you're right. It's not possible to be this redundant. They had been.
Married.
Yeah, they
No,
had been married.
married.
The verb to be is one of the verbs that cannot be used in this case. Otherwise, you're going to be extremely
Yes,
redundant.
deception.
Yes, okay. What about number 2? Antonio, how do you think you would complete number 2? The children were very cold because they play in the snow.
Has played.
They had played
Had
or
played. Had.
played or
Yeah.
had been
Playing, maybe.
No.
Which one?
Had played.
You see, this is the case that both are okay. All right? They were very cold because they had played in the snow. Okay. Or they were very cold because they had been playing and it's kind of understood for some time in the snow. All right? So I would accept both. Both would be all right. Okay? What about number 3? Vanessa, how do you think you would complete number 3?
We were close because we hadn't been drinking any water for a long time. We were very close because you hadn't
drinking or hadn't drunk.
Drinking.
What do you guys think? Which one is better now?
Drunk. Hadn't been drinking? I don't know.
Had been drunk. Had been drunk.
No, you have only 2 options. Hadn't been drinking or hadn't drunk.
Hadn't drunk.
Yeah, because Vanessa, this is not a continuous thing. Understand? This is not a continuous. So we hadn't drunk water for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no need to use the continuous. Okay, we hadn't drunk water for a long time. That's it. Okay.
Teacher,
yes.
A question, please. The number 2 can see both, né? Both the past perfect continuous or past perfect, né?
Yes, it could be both.
Yes.
But in this case, because
be both.
Yes.
Okay.
I myself would go for the continuous. Okay, like probably they had spent an hour, but the time here is not really necessary. Okay, I would, but grammatically speaking, both would be okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
What about number 4? I was very happy when I found my phone. I looked for it for hours.
I had looking.
I had.
For hours. You see, here I have.
Oh, yes, had been.
I had been
looking.
Okay?
Yes.
The others, I want you to have some fun. Now, look at this second exercise, okay? Join the following sentences using the past perfect, simple or continuous. You just need to analyze. For example, I arrived at the train station at 6:10. The train left at 5:55. So which action happened before? I arrived or the train left?
The train left.
So that
the train left.
Yes, so this one goes in the past perfect, right?
Past perfect, yes.
So how could I join them? The train?
I already.
Now, let's start with the train. The train had
already
left
when I arrived.
Okie dokie. That's it. You got it. That's the idea. And let's do just one more. Jill, not Bill. Whoosh, teacher. Your eyes are bad. Jill got to the office at 7. Bob got to work at 6:30.
When Bob.
But which one happened first? Bob arrived or Jill?
Bob.
So
When
Bob.
We can say, oh, when, we can start with when. The only difference is, in this case, if we start with when, we need to use a comma. Like, when Jill got to the office. Oh, did you
Bobby.
observe the comma?
Uh-huh.
In the other case, when is used in the middle, there is no comma. Bob had already been working. Okay? Or if you want, Bob had already arrived. Okay? Either one would be okay. Understand this? Excellent. Oh, there are a few more exercises I'd like you to try to do at home. And tomorrow we are going to see a passage, a reading passage. Okay? Tag it. I'm it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you very much for watching my class, and I hope to see you all here tomorrow at the same time. All right?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for class.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later, alligators.
See you later.
Why o crocodile?
Ah, finally! Finally, someone remembered, okay? All right. Good.